I'm Kaye, and I'm a late bloomer. This is Lisa Putnam, who I met through the school garden at Woodside Elementary School. And Lisa has generously offered for us to see her garden. She's also a master gardener. And this is Jennifer, and this is Ryan.
Yes, Ryan.
Ryan.
Our tour began overlooking their sunny hillside orchard, planted in rare heritage fruit trees and roses. Also a master gardener and certified arborist, Lisa's sister Kathleen said some fruits, like cherries, need more chill hours than others, hours spent between 32 and 45 degrees.
And so the cherries are at the bottom of the hill because the cold air goes down.
We rotate crops, so last year this was corn. This year it's all allium, so you can see all the onions and potatoes. We just finished up our artichoke harvest, but we can. Well, let's go here first, I think.
Yes, front line. How can we front line?
Fennel, kale, cucumbers.
Lisa said the most important thing to think about when you're planning your garden is the soil.
The other thing to think about is the sun and the pattern of the sun. So that's east and that's west. If you're going to plant tall things, so this is going to give afternoon shade. So what you want to be thinking of is how tall is the plant going to get? What is it going to shade? How much sun do things need? I have my prime time spot is where I've planted all my tomatoes. Before you even have your first summer tomato, you're seeding your garden for fall and winter. June is the time to seed your Brussels sprouts. And then July is the time to do all your kale, your broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, chard beets.
Cabbage moth.
That's a cabbage moth.
Let's see.
There's a cabbage moth larva. Yeah.
And you also have aphids on your kale.
Yeah.
So this is an organic garden. Kathleen, you have way too much kale here to hand pick all the...
No, I wouldn't. That would not be an effective control. What effective control here is the beneficial insects and other creatures, which is why we planted the hedgerow.
Yeah.
It's an insectiary to bring in beneficial insects. That it's a lot of natives and a lot of things that are going to be flowering when the insects need to be eaten. So it brings in the beneficials and gives them something to eat all summer. Flowers like this, where it's flat on top, like an umbrella, it's called an umbel.
Lisa lets carrots, dill, and parsley go to seed, as they're always trying to get more beneficial insects into the garden.
But like your carrot, dill, parsley.
I thought cauliflower was a cool season vegetable.
It is.
It
These
is.
were planted.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, they take depending on the variety. So I planted these January 2nd. I seeded them January 2nd, probably planted them out 6 weeks after that. But they are this one's like a 120-day variety. So I'm gonna go with a shorter variety. It's just that these make a cauliflower head probably that big.
That's
from
even-
an Italian seed.
That's even too big for a family of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is red boar.
Red boar.
B-O-R, yeah. Kale. We just keep harvesting. So you harvest from the bottom,
I
and you just, as it grows, these guys are all ready to be cut off, and then it'll just keep producing.
just keep getting taller and taller.
Yeah, we
Wow.
Eventually it will bolt.
it'll bolt, but it takes.
What's bolt mean?
It'll go to flower, and then it becomes very bitter.
When we got to the squash garden, I asked Kathleen about powdery mildew.
The squash plants are going to get powdery mildew. Just wet the top of the leaves, and that will get rid of the powdery mildew or prevent it from spreading.
The soil food web is my main passion, and that's just the life in the soil. We don't use any fertilizer here. We don't use any insecticides, pesticides, herbicides. So the soil food web is through photosynthesis, the plants are taking energy from the sun and they're storing those carbohydrates in their roots. And so there's just this whole web of life in the soil. And as long as you don't mess with it and put chemicals in your soil, then the plant will tell the soil what it needs, and the fungi and the bacteria will go get what it needs and feed that plant.
Hi, chickens.
And then I grow a lot of brassicas for the chickens. I have to say, my eggs are really, really good. And then so we have a compost pile here. That's a designer compost where we're doing a high nitrogen compost. You can see there's a lot of grass clippings and chicken manure to make so lots of greens to make it a high nitrogen compost. So a lot of bacterial action.
It's really hot. Put your hand right there.
Oh my gosh, it's kind of gooey too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you see this in your compost,
So you're gonna
it's the little fungi moving in and
The
doing
white strands.
The white strands in here are the good thing?
Fungal hyphae.
yeah,
It means the fungus is coming in and
starting to break it down.
Break it
It's
down.
actually probably still in a bacterial phase, so this might be actinobacteria.
yeah.
We do turn it. We actively do hot piles of compost. If you're not going to turn, I'd put a 5-to-1 ratio of browns to greens.
I'm Kaye, I'm a late bloomer. Thanks for joining us at Wild Farm. Got some happy bees behind me here. Hey guys, come on in here. This is Ryan and Jennifer. Thanks for sharing your farm with me.
You're welcome.
Did you have fun?
Yep.
And there's one of their eggs.
Yeah, from the chickens.